where it's not just going to crash and fall over. Okay, okay, this is a new lab. I've been really stressed for the last few weeks because there's been a lot of visitors in the house. It's on sale, and yeah, so I've had to move my lab out of the kitchen and into its own room. Let's just turn on the lights. I'll show you around the lab in a minute. So I have been making these new Medusa, which are now like crazy, beautiful, and different. Let me just show you. There's a pile of them there. There's a pile of them there. I need to finish them and then send them out, but I'm just finishing the last of this list, this batch, before I do. I'll give you a quick show. Right, this one has to be finished. It's got some finishing work that I need to do, some tidying up and trimming. And it's really flexible now, so it's really flexible. Okay, and so the opening is pretty stretchy now. And yeah, and the coloration, I'll take you over to the window, you might be able to see it better. The coloration is, I mean, it's so much better than what I was doing before when I first started. I mean, you look at the lacing on that, you can see the really fine coloration patterns. This hasn't been trimmed, so I have to finish this one, but I'm not doing the finishing just yet. I'm just in the process of getting through this list of orders. So I'm going to pop you on my shoulder, and then you can see the work. Oh, look at my messy lab. Sorry, I'm so busy. I just have to keep on going. I don't even have the chance to stop and tidy. And I don't know how long this stream will last. If the battery decides to die, I might be able to plug you in here. Let's see. That's, yeah, there's a cable. So I might be able to plug you in and keep it going for a bit, but we'll see. So, yeah, let's do this. So first of all, I need the right syringe, which is not that one. It's this one. Where is it? Oh, here it is. So I'm now using two different silicones, which I'm blending in ratios to get the right softness in different areas. So let's get a measuring cup. I'll use this as a measuring cup. So the soft silicone that I'm using is called Dragon Skin, and it is really soft and stretchy, so I'm using it on all the contact zones, the friction zones. And then the other version of silicone that I'm using for the decorative mantle is sort of clear because it picks up the coloration really nicely and I get the gold reflectivity. The Dragon Skin looks a bit muted and I wasn't keen on the results. I've got a pile of, not rejects, but coloration tests on the Dragon Skin, and I wasn't kind of happy because the Dragon Skin looks very muddy. It's beautifully stretchy. It's, you know, there we go. It's beautifully stretchy, but I just didn't like the colour. So I will be listing these as rejects on eBay because of the coloration. I just didn't like it. Anyway, okay, let's get this going. I'll put some gloves on. Yeah, this place is such a mess. It was kind of an emergency. I had to move out of the kitchen and make do in a smaller space in one of the empty bedrooms here. and I didn't have access to enough power sockets and whatever, so it's been really difficult to try and get all of my equipment up and running the way I wanted it. When I start, I'm gonna just calm down and just relax into it, because I actually find this very relaxing, and because I'm so strung out at the moment, this is really good therapy for me to be doing. So anyway, I'm going to measure out some dragon skin. It's an AB mixture. It's pretty runny for silicones, which means that it's really difficult to work with if you don't know what you're doing. As a new person working with silicone, if you were to go with dragon skin, you would not be able to do what I'm doing, because I have developed a lot of technique and control to produce the weaving patterns that I want. And if be prepared to spend a couple of $100s on a gallon of dragon skin to get no good results for the first batch, because it requires that much practice to work with. There's no way around it. What I do is a skill. It takes time to develop the techniques, and even though I'm showing you the techniques I'm using, you won't be able to copy them, because it's a real sleight of hand thing. It's a real sleight of hand. It's not something that you can just copy and reproduce. You have to have certain tools, and if they're missing and it gels too quickly, then you've lost the whole product. So part A and part B. It's a 50-50 by weight and volume mix for this particular type of silicone. Actually, I'll move the camera down so you can see a bit better. Now, that's better now, right? So now I'll get the other part. I have to rotate the cup around so that I don't touch the part B with this spatula. So I keep them out of contact with each other, because otherwise I'll contaminate and lose the batch of silicone. And this silicone is very runny compared to the ones that I've been working with before. When I'm picking this out of the tub, you'll notice that I'm doing this kind of flick, because when you move it fast, it's a non-Newtonian fluid, so the faster you move it, the more it goes to a halt. You know, it behaves like a solid. Okay, that's done. Perfect. So each one of these is about 30 mils. They're plastic shot glasses. I think they're about 30 mils. Right, this particular silicone is very long cure, long pot life. And unfortunately for all the devices that I make, I need a long pot life in order to weave the properties that I want into the silicone, including the lacing and the directional properties and the hoop strength. So doing all of that takes time, and if it gels too quickly, I lose my window of working time. So I use the slowest pot life on all of my materials, which is about 45 minutes for this particular silicone. You can see it's kind of milky, which means that when you put the color in it, the color becomes muted and desaturated. So I put a bit of the mixture back into the pot, rub it around, mix it, And the reason is, when I come to reusing this container, I can just rip out the cured silicone and it won't be sticky from leftover silicone. So it just makes my cleanup much easier. Just put a bit around the rim. There we go. And then I will leave that over here to gel. Right, I think that's well enough mixed for now. So I'm going to start to add the colour palette, which I have now developed a new procedure for, to get the lacing that I want, the beautiful fine filigree patterns. I now do something, you see here, this is the lacing pattern I'm talking about. It's pretty unusual. So this colour palette that I'm working on today is Unicorn. Unicorn is a blend of lilacs and purples, so, and silver and holographic and UV. So we'll go purple and indigo. Let's tip this down a bit more, eh? There we go. Indigo. Okay. And pink. And light blue. I need the light blue. Okay, here we go. This is like a steel blue. Okay. And pearlescent. Okay, so because dragon skin is quite opaque, I'm not going to put any glitter in it because it won't, the effect won't show. And all I'm doing is I'm not even going to mix the colors in because the lacing depends on the actual intensity of the saturation. So it's nice to have a variation. So I just sort of poke it in until it's wetted through. It only needs to be wetted through, not completely uniform, because the non-uniformity of it is what gives the beautiful lacing pattern, and it doesn't affect the strength as long as it's all wetted through. So you've got some areas of high saturation and low saturation. And this is the pearlescent that I'm mixing in. I'll zoom you in a bit closer so you can see the actual technique I'm using. I'll probably switch to whispering shortly after, because when I get into it I really like to, you know, de-stress, calm down, not think about anything, like all the stress I'm under at the moment. Okay, so I'm gonna just pat this in once again, just wet it through. There we go. There we go. It's wet through now. Okay. So in the mantle silicone, that's the silicone that goes over the shield, I'm going to be using a high gloss transparent silicone that allows full saturation and metallic shine. Where's my spatula? Okay, there I am. Okay. Now, the trick is to dump all of this into this syringe, which I have put a nozzle on the end. Right, in one go. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, just dump it all in one go. Ready? I think I did it. Okay. Right, I got it in. So let's clean this up. I'm going to clean this up and dump this over the membrane. A second. Let's see, just so all the residue left over I'm putting on the membrane. I'll explain later as I go along. All this leftover silicone needs to go on the membrane. Okay. Right. Okay. Now, this is the valve mold that I'm going to be using. I'm going to put it here to preheat up to 80 degrees. Oh, whoopsie, I need to rewire that, but it's shorting. Okay. So, you can see it's already running out. Oh God, where's my plunger? So let's just it's going to be hard for me to try and keep you in frame because I'm focusing on this and it's really difficult to see the screen at the same time. Okay, there we go. So let's move all this out the way. Right. I'm now working on a mirrored surface so that I can see how it's filling when I inject the silicone in, which is really good because now I don't have to see whether I'm, so I just inject it in there. There we go. And go around and around and around. Right. Now, I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to now mix the other silicone that I need for the high visual. Okay. So for that, I'm going to use a big dumpy syringe. Okay, let's get this. And this is the high gloss silicone that I'm going to be using with all the holographic colours in it because this is the visual part of it. So, right, I'm going to use the same thing, the same tub, so I'll just make sure that it's as wiped out as I can get it. Okay, I should dump that over here again. Just... Right, so this time I'm going to be using Sorta Clear 18, which is a medical grade of silicone again. It's very clear, it's water clear, as long as you don't heat it. But it has really good colour replication. So I need about 60 grams of this, or about 70 grams I need. One Medusa, so I'm just going to pour out what I need here. About that much will do. So one of these, each one of these drums of silicone costs about $1,000. The price has gone up since the war because of logistics and material supplies. So it's about $1,000 per 5 1.5 gallons. Right, I need to weigh it. So I'm going to minus 20 grams off this because, yeah, so it's about 84, which means I need 8, which means I need 8 grams of catalyst. 8 grams, so I'm going to take it up to 112. Made a bit of a mistake. I didn't zero it out with the empty container, but it's about 20 grams, the container, so I know how much. I'm going to add 2 more grams. It's important that I don't over catalyze it because it goes brittle and too hard. So it's actually better if I slightly under catalyze it. It takes longer to cure, but it's softer. So, and once again, mix this up. This is actually a little bit difficult to mix because it's a bit thicker. The thicker the silicone, the harder it is to mix and get it all uniformly mixed. And because it's like the catalyst is like a water, very low viscosity, I'm combining 2 different viscosities, and it's really important that I get it thoroughly mixed so I can pull the bowl clean. Ooh. To scrape all the surfaces. Right, okay, now the fun bit. Okay, I really have fun with this bit. Okay, so that's done. Let's have a go. Colour palette. The colour palette for this is going to be slightly more exciting, a bit more mirrored and light reactive. It's going to be the same colour palette with some added power-ups. So once again, pink, purple, indigo, pale blue, now I need the UV dye, so I'm going to use some UV dye. Where's the steel? Pearl. Now the fun stuff. Okay, so we want the holographic. Where's my silver? Yep, that's, oh, I'll use some of that. I'll have some purple. Okay, and where's the silver? Oh, there it is. It's more like gunmetal actually, so put the gunmetal in. Okay. And once again, I'm just going to pat this in gently. Okay. You just have to get it wet through. If you don't wet it through and you go to pour it, it puffs up and you lose half the pigment. So you just have to wet it through. Let's see if I can just tilt you back again. Oops. Okay, now the glitter. Okay. Okay, that's wet through. Move to the indigo. Light blue. Okay, that's done. Crystal. I always think of the film Labyrinth when I see this. Don't know why. It's been on my mind a lot lately. Film Labyrinth. It's actually one of my first favourite films. Had a lot of meaning to me with David Bowie in it. And this is the UV dye, so this goes really bright. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so let's see if I can scrape this off. I don't want to lose these high intensity blobs of colour because it's extremely saturated. And these are strength points in this particular silicone. If the colour is too saturated, it becomes a weakness. So this is why I'm only using it on the decorative parts of the vagina, on the vulva area only. And wherever I want it to be stiff, because the pigment also stiffens it up. So, okay. Now I've got to dump it in here and I'll see if I can keep you in frame. I wasn't keeping an eye on that last time, so here we go. This is the fun bit. Okay. Right, here goes. I'm just gonna there we go. Done. I've been developing these techniques now for the last 6 months and they have evolved slightly each time. Where's my plunger? Okay. So now I'm going to fill up the rest of the egg. can't tell if you can actually see any of this. So as soon as I finish this important bit, I'll recheck my framing. This bit's critical. I've got to make sure I get it in to the high detail areas without bubbles, because this is where the mold is hot and it gels on contact, so I have to make sure that the nozzle is contacting the mold. Okay, there we go. So I'll put some in here and in here, in here. Okay then. So then what I'll do is I'll go around the side. Just one drop around the side. Right. And then here's the risky bit. I have to really keep an eye on this. Turn it over and see how fast I can get that to, right. Okay, let's go back and quickly check. Oop. Okay, so there's a couple of bits first. When it touches the heat, it starts to gel on contact, so I just try and trigger that off. Because once it starts gelling, it's really nice because you can just paint it on and it will keep its pattern. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over again. Oh, low battery. I've got my gloves on, so it's not letting me get. Okay, so my camera could actually die in the next 20 minutes. It's usually a countdown of about 20 minutes, so oops. Yeah, I do make a hell of a mess when I'm working with silicone. And the only way I can clean it up is to let it all gel and then rip it off. Okay, let's see if I can just do this a bit quicker here. Flip this over, do another coat here. Okay, go back here. So pick some of this because I don't want to waste any. I also find that once it kicks off with the gelling, it's good. It makes it extra sticky. just let this find its position. Okay. And I can take a bit more time with this now because this is starting to gel nicely, so I can now start to weave this. Where's the other one? It's like decorating cakes, isn't it? I'm decorating my muffin. So I have to make sure that the silicone pulls itself over the edges so that I don't end up with any shallow spots. There we go. Then do the same here. So this is now nicely gelled. So I'm now ready to add the second layer, the membrane. Oops, I'm not doing that. Yeah, okay. I want to make sure that goes up there too. It's really hard. You have to know how the silicone is going to behave because as it gels, it pulls itself tighter around any edges. So, because it's trying to reduce the distance over any surface. A bit like shrinking, but it's not. It's just pulling itself in different directions. You have to know how it's going to behave and how you're going to pull it like that. See? And then I pop that bubble, and that's how I get a nice, even ridge. So yeah, you do have to. It's like knitting a liquid into a solid. And every mold is different, so you have to have an idea of the characteristics of flow over each mold. The more different designs I have, the more complicated I make it for myself. You know, you can see, actually you can't see from here, but what we'll do is I'll put the membrane in now. Oop, no, can't put the membrane in until I put these parts in. So there we go, there's one. I actually broke this off. It broke. It was meant to be in the mold, but it's easier when it's broken because then it comes out and I don't have to rip the silicone or anything like that. So here we go. Pop this in. And then I have to hook it in without tearing the silicone off the edges. There we go. Squeeze it in. There we go. Do the same here. Tuck it in. Hook it. Tuck it in. There. There we go. Right. And then I will use the runny silicone to seal it in. So this is creating my isolation membrane. I don't know what you call it. It's like a trampoline that sits underneath the mantle, and it enables the mechanics of the whole device to distribute the distortion and strain during sexual intercourse and spread that over the vulva area where you want to feel the pressure and the massage. So it takes away any stretching from the neck and puts it onto the mantle of the vulva, which that's the secret to doing it. Okay, so this is gelling. We have to get back to weaving. I'm going to need my other tool, hang on. Do this with both hands because I'm losing control of the, I mean this is more controllable, but I now have to physically stick it where I want it. Okay. This is now working with non-Newtonian fluids. It behaves like a liquid and a solid at the same time, so I literally have to start weaving it now. Okay. I don't really want to put too much in there because it will cause me problems. If I just spread it a little bit, and I'm sorry I didn't get to zoom you in and see what I was doing up close, but time is of the essence here. I don't have much time because this is gelling and I gotta just focus on what I'm doing. Okay, so that is going to be now how I attach the two components together. And what I'm going to do now here is with the last bit, I'm going to just make sure that I've weaved a good hoop, mechanics of hoop stress around these profile edges, because these profile edges tend to become like knife blades in the mold, and they do risk splitting the silicone when it's cured. So if I wrap the silicone around, actually I can use this tool now to start. Another one, I need the other one. Okay, so just take that one down there. Yeah, so I do this just to get a nice smooth surface, and here we go. Oh, there's another. Let's see, I'll just put it over here. And then over here. I need one over here. Okay, let's try that. So this is a really nice stage now where I can just manipulate the silicone where I want it, and it's not going to move. It's a little bit difficult to do though. There we go. See? Okay. That's looking good. Bring it down. Yeah, it's not easy. It takes a lot of practice to be able to make sure that you can do this without tearing the surface and without creating air pockets. It's like a bit of a nightmare, air pockets, because then you lose the strength of the material because there's a freaking air pocket. Oop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a sheet like this. I'm going to stick it and pull it. Okay. There. This stage is absolutely perfect because when I'm working it, I don't have long, I have like maybe 5 minutes. Oh, you see there, it's gone sagged a little bit, don't want that. Okay, this is a little bit too dense for my liking. Right, nearly ready to put this together. So what I'll do is, I've got some other unicorn pieces here. Just see if they need. Touching up. Okay, there's one. Maybe in there. Don't know. Put a bit more in, like some in there. Yeah, and just where I feel it needs it. Okay. Nearly finished. The cosmetic layer. Okay, so I'll put that on heat to cure. See if this needs any. It needs a little bit of cosmetic there. See if I can. Oh, damn. Okay, that's looking good. Does it need anywhere else? No, don't think so. I'll put a bit of. Okay, let's let that heat up for a bit. Oh, dear me. Okay, now I need to stick the two halves together. And this is the tricky bit that does make me a little bit nervous. So, let's pull this out. It won't go out, will it? Okay. Let's see. Right, and now I have to go in. I'm going to kneel down a minute because I need to get my eyeballs in up close. Make sure they properly knit together. Okay. Yep. Stop there. Right, I think that has perfectly knitted. So I'm going to damn. This is so difficult to push out once it's done like that. Okay. At this point, I'm normally putting it in the rotocaster, but I'm going to see if I can go without today. Okay. Oh no, I need to squeeze more out. Okay, let's pop it this way. Don't fall, just stay put. Oh, Jesus. This is so... Okay. Let's do it back over and let's get some more in there. I'm literally working until the very last minute of the... Not even the pot life. It's gone beyond the pot life now. But it's still gelling, so I use every available opportunity to play with the material properties and get the layers that I want and the smoothness that I want, the thickness that I want. had someone write to me on Reddit and say, would you mind sharing with me your techniques, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, just like you can just pick this up, it's going to cost you, regardless. If you try and copy what I'm doing now, it's going to cost you a good $1,000 of silicone to get up to the working method that I'm using now. It's guaranteed. There's no shortcuts. And I have spent so far about $3,000 on silicone. So I am now fully invested, and I'm still improving. I'm still developing my skills. So right, I think that will do. I don't like these saggy bits. Gotta see if I can smooth them out somehow. Pull them up. I don't know if this is working. Okay. Right. I think what I'm going to do now is I am going to speed cure this. It's like, oh, you're still playing with it, for goodness sake. This is the point where I can risk messing it all up, because I'm at the point where the silicone is now going to tear instead of blend and smooth itself out. So what I think I'll do now is, let's balance this. I'm just gonna literally, let's put on a few pegs to balance it, and then I'll stick it in front of the heater to fast cure it. I'm not putting it in the rotocaster this time. Let's see. Okay, my phone is about to die. Nice one. Okay. I'm just adding these pegs as weights to level it out. Level it out. Okay. I can't really see what I'm doing very well. Okay. Oh. And so, yeah, it seems to be level. But no, I'll just add one more. Okay, like that. Okay. Now it's level. Huh. Sorry, I'm going to take you out of this because it's no good. You're not going to be able to see what I'm doing. I'm going to flip the screen. Ah, there we are. I'm back. I'm trying to get this level. Maybe I should just stuff it in the machine. Could try that. Let's stuff it in the machine. I'm just going to load it in the machine. Oopsie, sorry. I can't deal with you just yet. There you go. I'm literally just clamping this in the machine to hold it steady. I'm not gonna set the machine off. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so let's give you a look. Okay, so I'm not setting the machine off, and the reason why is because the weight of the material inside that mold is very slumpy. When you turn it upside down, it will start to bulge. So I'm going to wait until it gels a bit more before I kick the machine off. Yeah. So anyway, I will just stick my manual heating system on. Okay. I need to put the heater at the right height. Hang on. And then what we're doing after that. So I'm going to get the next mold ready and start pouring the next one. But my phone is about to die now, so I'm going to go away and put you on charge. There we go. So I've got to do next. Unicorn egg, mermaid egg, crinoid alien egg, crinoid alien egg, crinoid alien egg. Okay, there. Crinoid coral and bell. Okay, I know what I'm doing now. Right, I'll stream again maybe in about an hour.